Welcome back now. As I said at the top of the show, politics did kick off in full gear in the last week, especially with the presidential candidates kicking off their campaigns. And I have here with me Olumuyiwa Amal to talk about all that has been happening in Nigeria in the last week. You're very welcome.
Thank you, Ebuka. Wonderful being here.
Okay, let's start with the presidents. Their campaigns have gone off in full gear, and it looks like they're competing for who's going to tour Nigeria the most. Let's start with the PDP and Mr. President's speech, which has generated a lot of talk. People seem to have said that it's the first time they've seen him talk very passionately. Whether what he was saying was true or not is a different scenario. But the fact that he spoke without reading his speech and spoke for so long, people seem to have seen him in a different light. What do you think that speech will do for him going forward?
Well, to be honest, I think I saw a different president who came out probably bitter. Why he was, I wouldn't know. Well, I think it's a good. I mean, it was a good idea that he spoke the way he did. I wish he had acted that way over the years since he had been president. But that said, well, I think the speech he gave and whatever he said has one or two things he would add to his campaigns as it affects his value and his chances. But as a Nigerian, I struggled to see anything too meaningful from that speech. What I saw was politics based on side attacks and all that, and not on issues. I mean, that was what happened at Tafawa Balewa Square. But I mean, across board, I really do think that he could have done better by focusing less on the personality issues as it affected the APC candidate and all that, and telling us why he is the best candidate for the job and why he thinks he should be re-elected. So going forward, Nigerians will decide that. So
you mentioned your position there, and General Buhari kicked off his own campaign in Rivers State and has gone across a few more states after that, especially the Southeast, which most people thought he would not visit since APC apparently does not have a strong ground there. But you mentioned him attacking, Mr. President attacking General Buhari. How do you think General Buhari has done? Has he, I mean, there's really nothing he's given us so far.
Well, again, I think General is basking on the euphoria of his so much publicized credibility portfolio, which I think has been going well for him all this while. When I situate the arguments from both camps vis-a-vis what has been coming out from the presidency and how the APC has handled its own campaigns, I'm tempted to believe that the APC has been quite a little bit more moderate and more mature in their comments. Have not seen so much of hate speech or insightful comments or personality issues or attacks from the side of the APC. So I haven't heard much from them. As the days progress, we'll hear more from them. But so far, both candidates across board, they've done fairly well. You cannot again rule out emotions in issues like this. A lot of things are at stake. Someone has been in power for 6 years. You cannot ask me to leave that position just like that. So I have to give it a fight. So I would understand the presidency's position. For the general, you must also understand that he's been there 3 times. He wants to go there the 4th time. People have complained over and over again that he's had so much of insightful comments from his supporters or from himself. So he's got to naturally want to be careful. So he's just trying to balance the argument and make people see him in the different lights. Let's see what happens in the next 1-2 weeks, and let's see if this era of peace and progress can continue from both camps, and then we'll be able to come back and decide. But so far, there hasn't really been so much issues to talk about. Even the incident at Tafawa Balewa Square, I can excuse the president. The APC wanted to get at him, and they did get at him. It was under pressure. He couldn't manage it, personal opinion. Some others could say something different. So we can't really have so much to say.
We don't seem, I mean, a lot of people were hoping we would have an issue-based campaign. It doesn't look like that has started yet on either side.
Yes, you have a point, Ebuka. I think, again, as I earlier said, we haven't seen so much from both camps. The presidency has said this is what I've done in 4 years. If you allow me to come back, I can consolidate. The APC is saying you haven't done anything. As a Nigerian, from my personal point of view, I would argue differently. If I was to go to fault the presidency or the president's performance, I would fault him on different strands. So I think both of them can do more. I want to see from both camps, someone can tell me, fair youth, 60-70% of you will get employment. I would employ so and so through these means, not a general statement. How is someone who would tell the other man on the street who is hungry, I can give you food through this means, not doling out rice and chickens to them. I want to see a government that can tell you I will build your system, the way normal system works. I don't want to see a presidency or an APC who would say, we would jail people, we would give you jobs, without telling us in concrete terms how you want to do that. Both camps have failed. The man or the party that's been there for 16 years, as a Nigerian, has failed. Whether the APC can do the job is a different ballgame entirely. But how do they want to do the job? It's also important. That we haven't seen from them. A
lot of people have said that people with your opinion who want these issues and all of that are in the minority, which is why the candidates are probably doing what they're doing, going to the rallies and singing and waving umbrellas and brooms. because the people who are the mass voters don't really care about the issues. Is that not the case?
Well, but again, it's a systemic problem. You have a government and a party that has consistently demoralized Nigerians. Psychologically, Nigerians are down. People don't have food in their houses. No one cares. And there's this issue I've raised in different fora. When you have a country where power supply is not stable, for only God knows how long, you have a set of people, citizens of that country, naturally don't belong to the normal world. So when you have power concerns to battle about, you don't care about what the government does. The first thing you care about is mosquitoes. You care about how to pay your children's fees. You care less about how the government wants to perform. So I think that we have had this consistent culture of failures in Nigeria. And having Ghana doesn't believe in this system. People don't see any government. People don't feel the government. You walk on the streets of Lagos. Everywhere you go, you see hungry faces. You see hungry people. You can then expect such a people to want to think that the government can perform. So you have that mass of people that have been disadvantaged by a government, not the Jonathan government alone. Consistently, since 1960, Nigerians haven't fared better from any government. So you wouldn't expect them to show that much sympathy or support for the government. So I think that these are issues that both parties of the government has to address. I feel ashamed, for instance, as a Nigerian, that I've been here for close to 16, 17 years studying, and I haven't benefited in any way from the government in terms of scholarship, in terms of job opportunities. I haven't seen that. But that's me. It's a personal issue. My first and second scholarships, as a matter of fact, my PhD scholarship, is a lot of money. I got it from a different government, not even from the Nigerian government. So everything is so politicized, and the people aren't happy. So the people are naturally expected to show less concern for any government because they don't believe any government exists. And that's what I want to see both parties do. I want them to show to Nigerians, if you allow me to do this thing for under 4 years or for a fresh 4 years, this is what I would do. State in concrete terms what you would do, so we can hold you responsible after 4 years if you failed.
On a final note now, the elections are basically about a month away,
yes.
And some people say that's too short a time.
Yes.
What do you think we should be, or the candidates should be looking at or talking about or doing in the next month that might swing some voters who probably are still undecided?
Well, I think if I was to advise both parties, define for us what your system means. How do you intend to run Nigeria? What does Nigeria mean to you in 2015? In the next 4 years, give me 1 2-point agenda. I only want to see a party that will tell me, I'm not going to build the roads, I'm not going to build the infrastructure, I'm going to fix power supply. Let me have a government like that. Okay, I won't concentrate on power supply. I'm going to give you infrastructure. I mean, don't model up agenda for us. At the end of the day, you end up not doing anything. So both parties need to come to the open, tell Nigerians, this is not my 8-point agenda. You cannot do everything. This is what I'm going to do in 4 years. If I don't do this, hold me responsible. And I think that's what Nigerians want to listen to. And that's what I want to listen to also. So I'm still observing what happens in the next 2-3 weeks. We again decide where my votes would swing. Right now, I have a bias for one particular candidate, which I wouldn't mention on here. But I think there's still a lot of things that needs to be said. So much more needs to be done.
Thank you very much. I know there's a lot of Nigerians who are like you, who still have no idea who they are going to vote, even though there are 8 candidates actually. Besides the 2.
Right, yeah.
Thank you very much for coming here today.
It's always a pleasure being here.
Thank you very much for joining us as usual. Like I always say, you can join the conversation on Twitter at YNigerTV is the handle to follow. Rubbin Minds is the hashtag. You can also visit the website yniger.com/TV. Remember, you've never seen young people talk like this before. I'll see you next week.
Let's go. So let's dance now. It is my time.